Who is it?
It's Dave, man. Will you open up? I got the stuff with me.
Who?
Dave, man, open up.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave, come on, man, open up. I think the cops are coming.
Dave's not here.
The views and opinions expressed on iLibertarian are not necessarily the views of TalkShoe, LiveFree.fm, Define For You Media, The King for Mayor, iLibertarian, or their sponsors. This show is not endorsed by the Libertarian Political Party. In a time of corrupt politicians and corporate greed, a land in turmoil cried out for a radio show. That show was iLibertarian. With its host, the King for Mayor. Music, guests, call-ins. iLibertarian. We're listening to you.
Hello, folks. It's your host, the King for Mayor, and you're listening to iLibertarian. It is August 11 at our normal time, Thursday night at 11 p.m. We've got a pretty exciting show tonight. I'm very happy to have a very special guest on the show with us tonight. His name is Doug Walker. You might know him better as that guy with glasses, or perhaps even more so as the Nostalgia Critic. He's going to be our guest for the first hour of the show, and we're going to learn all about running your own business and being successful and not having to work for the man anymore. We're in our second hour. We're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to be talking about the rising inflation in America, the current debt down or credit downgrade by S&P, and of course the riots in London. As you guessed, the first hour is probably going to be a lot more fun than the second hour, but it's stuff that needs to be talked about nonetheless. But without further ado, please welcome to the show, Doug Walker. How are you doing tonight, Doug?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? Wait, that's a lot of pressure to be the fun half of the 2 hours. Jeez, I mean, I can't compete with London riots. Those are pretty fun.
Well, it depends. It depends on where you are in London at the time.
you get some good running, you get some exercise, but yeah, that's probably about the extent of the fun.
Yeah, well, everybody needs a free high def TV, right? But anyway, I asked you on the show tonight because I've been following you for probably at least close to a year now. I know you've been doing it
outside my house. You've been stalking me with the binoculars and stuff like that.
Well, I've been following your antics on the internet and your videos, and I recently discovered that you have stripped away the bonds of mere slavedom, working for the man, and you've pretty much turned this whole I don't know what you would call it, video casting into your own kind of small business, and you've grown quite the empire. I've discovered by checking out your site. You have a whole bunch of people who seem to be working for you now, not only just talking about movies, but video games and all sorts of things, and even making your own mini-series, which I've come to enjoy as well. I was hoping you could just kind of tell us to start off with how this whole thing came about, because I guess at one point you were like the rest of us, working for the man, collecting your paycheck every week, and probably tearing your hair out, wishing you could do something better, but you've actually done it. Can you tell us how this all started?
Well, in a sense, it's still working, quote unquote, for the man, because I am working for someone else. I am working for Channel Awesome and the CEO, Mike Machad. But the nice thing about that is that our CEO pretty much just lets us do whatever we want and almost never comes down on us, never says, hey, this is bad, don't do that. I mean, he just allows a ton of freedom. But like I said, in terms of everything else, yeah, it is working at home. It is making your own stuff, setting your own schedules, and it's pretty sweet. In terms of how it got started, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to get the CliffsNote version. I started off on YouTube with these videos called 5-second movies, which I think people are still making. I think the most popular one is like Titanic in 5 seconds, which is I think it has 6 million hits on YouTube or something, and it's pretty much just taking clips from famous movies and condensing it down. Like Titanic in 5 seconds would be a guy saying, "The ship can't sink," and then you see the ship sink. The end. That'd be it. And those really caught on maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, and I was getting a big audience from it, and they were really easy to make. But I was just doing it as a hobby, so I wanted to see, okay, let's see if, I can still be funny, just me performing, writing, all that stuff. So I started doing Nostalgia Critic and a few sketches, and that caught on. But I kept getting kicked off of YouTube because they kept claiming copyright infringement and so on and so forth. So a friend of a friend, Mike Machad, comes up, says he's starting his company called Channel Awesome, and he loves my stuff and says he'd love to give me my own site, sort of be sort of the startup of this company. This is back when very few were making money on the internet, and I said I'd love to, but I mean I got a job right now. I'm an illustrator. I need to be reimbursed. And he's like, oh, we can get paid for this. You can make a living at this, doing what you love. Which, as you were saying, very very few people do. Actually make a living doing what they love. So we started putting our stuff on Blit TV, and he put the website together, and we got a backlog going, and that was his idea to put this community together of other reviewers and other critics, and it just sort of boomed from there.
And boomed it has. It's you have quite a number of people who seem to be. Are they working for you, or are they working for Channel Awesome?
Officially, really, they're working for themselves because they get to keep all the profit that they make. Everything that they put on Blit, they keep everything. We don't take a percentage of. So, in a sense, they're working for themselves, but in another sense, because we are giving them, the exposure and we're putting them on the website, we do crossovers and all this other stuff. It gets them a lot of attention. Of course, they become very grateful for it, and we become grateful for it too. So it really is like a partnership between us and all the reviewers.
So now, your videos, if I might be so bold, are better than other people's. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, it's all opinion. In terms of why they get so many in terms of why they get so many views, I guess the reason is, because retro stuff and nostalgia is just so big right now. There probably was always an audience for it, but only now are we discovering just how profitable it is, because no matter what, there's always going to be an audience. There's always going to be someone that grew up with it and wants to see it again. And I think, just people screaming, jerks, nerds, all that stuff, I mean, they're a big hit on the internet, and as long as you can make it somewhat likable, or at least make it something that people want to come back and they want to continue to see, they'll do exactly that. They'll keep coming back to it. And I think, any comedy is sort of based on misery, so I usually review, bad stuff, bad nostalgic stuff, so that, the nostalgia critic can get angry at it and yell at it and get his voice all nice and high-pitched, and people just love to come back and see a character get tortured over and over.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed, because there's a lot of good older movies, and it seems you rarely review those. I've noticed. I keep hoping to see some good Jim Henson movie reviews and things like that.
Every once in a while, I'll try to get either a good movie to review, or I'll do like a top 11 list of like the best nostalgic shows, or even like my favorite movies or something like that. So they slip in every once in a while, and but people mostly they tune in just to see me get tortured. So that you try to give the people what they want.
I see. So you're saying angry and pain sells.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's like the essence of most comedy.
Okay. Well, there you go. So I guess I noticed that you recently were working on a new series, and I apologize. I forgot the name of it. I was trying to find it before we did the show here tonight, but it's basically loosely based off of the movie Mazes and Monsters.
Oh, you might be. Are you thinking of Suburban Nights?
Oh yes, that's what it's called. Thank you.
Yeah, that was the. Every year we do a yearly anniversary where we get as many of the reviewers as we can together. And originally we did this half-hour video for the first year, which was just sort of a brawl. It was a fight. And then the second year we actually did like an hour-and-a-half long production. We broke it up into pieces, but then we sold it as a movie on DVD. And this year we actually did a little over 2 hours production. Again, we broke it up, but we're going to have a DVD coming out hopefully pretty soon of that. So yeah, pretty much every year we make like a little movie based on all the on as many of the reviewers as we can.
Yeah, no, I was definitely enjoying that, and I particularly liked that you started off and you're with the newscast, and I was like, dude, that's Mazes and Monsters. They're ripping off Mazes and Monsters, and then it was like, oh yeah, this is quite similar to the plot of Mazes and Monsters, and I was like, oh, thank God. I thought I was the only person who ever watched that movie.
Well, and even that's a reference. What I tried to do, I tried to incorporate as much of the other reviewers in there as I can. And Spoonie, one of our reviewers, reviewed that movie, and that's why after he says not unlike Mazes and Monsters, he screams, "No, that is bull!" because he reviewed it. So, but that one was trying to be more self-contained too. So even if you didn't know that, you could follow it okay. Like you knew what Mazes and Monsters was, so you still got a laugh without necessarily having to know that one of our people reviewed it.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was a review. I actually have to complain because I had to go and watch that movie after seeing that, and man, that was definitely an hour and a half I'd like back.
You gotta watch Spoonie's review. It's great. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, now that I know there's a review of it, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it. Now, getting all those people together and producing like a series like that has got to be tremendously difficult. I used to make movies myself, and even had my own little film company back in the late 90s, early 2000 time. And back then we didn't have YouTube. We were filming on 16 millimeter film, which is a whole another can of worms, literally. But what is the advice you would give somebody who wants to do a larger project like that?
Well, it depends on. It just depends on exactly what you want to do, what your time frame is, and all that stuff. I mean, for example, with both the second-year anniversary and the third-year anniversary, I mean, we had 4 days to shoot it, so we had to prepare like mad for it. And with the second year, most everything went according to plan. There were little scrapes and bruises and stuff, but for the most part, it went fine. Third year, all sorts of things went wrong and kept falling apart, and really just the incredible cast and crew we got really pulled it through. So honestly, get good. My first big advice is just get good people and get people you can trust. Because, like I said, I mean, with the third year, it almost fell apart. But I mean, the people I got really held in there and just totally pulled through and made it work. So I mean, that's really important, just to have good people on your side. But other stuff, honestly, just use the internet as much as you can. Just the internet has changed so much in terms of making productions. Now you can just show anything anywhere as long as you made it and, whatever, you got the rights to it, or nobody else has bought the rights to it. Just be creative. Even if you don't have much, just use what you do have and work with it. we have a reviewer called the Cinema Snob, and he doesn't usually, get like the absolute best film equipment and stuff, but the stuff he reviews is like Z-grade films and abstract pornos. Like he did E.T. the porno. He reviewed that. Just really weird out there stuff. And of course, the quality of those videos are never good, because they're horrible videos. But when he does his reviews, it's like his film quality can look just like that stuff as well. So it matches, and even he looks like a character out of one of those movies. So he works within his limits, and actually people prefer now, like the equipment he has, because it matches his character so well. So just work with whatever you got and be really creative.
Definitely, that's some good advice there. So now you get these videos, and I guess, like you said, you had problems with YouTube with the copyright issue. So I guess Channel Awesome now pays for the royalties or gets permission, or what's the deal with that?
No, really, because their reviews, they're covered by satire, parody, claw, and also just the fact that it's a review, because technically that's allowed. You can use footage from something if it is a review. With YouTube, because it is so major and such, I don't want to say monster, but I mean it's such a giant corporation. That and to be fair, it wasn't YouTube that was technically kicking us off. It was film producers and stuff like that, like Lionsgate and stuff like that would call up YouTube, say, hey, they're stealing our stuff, this is a copyright infringement, take them down, and YouTube would take it down for them, because they don't want to get sued. This is when they're going through like 1 million lawsuits as well, so I mean, my guess is they were pretty terrified of just any more of them. So, and they say, you can make an argument, you can make a case to battle them and stuff, but who wants to go through that? So, with Blip, they don't attack as much. We did have someone try to take our review down, who made a film, but we contacted a lawyer, says, do you have any grounds? The lawyer said, nope, and we said, no, okay, so we put it back up. Never heard from him again.
Oh, nice.
But,
who do you... Who do you run your videos through now? Because it's not YouTube. It's
we run them through Blip. Blip, you actually get paid for the number of views that you get, because they put ads in their videos and stuff like that. And they've been, we've been really good to them. They've been very good to us. So, that's pretty much, for the most part, the main source of income is just doing it on Blip. And Blip is growing, and they redid the website too, and it looks great, and they're getting more and more numbers. But it's still not YouTube. YouTube is the place everybody goes first. So I usually tell people if they're trying to get started, start off on YouTube, because people are always looking for stuff on there first. I mean, even people take some of my videos from Blip and they put it on YouTube, and people love to contact me and say, aren't you afraid of this? Don't you want to take it off? I'm just like, no, this is how people find me. I mean, it's the videos that they post on YouTube never look as good as the ones on Blip, and my address is always at the bottom, so they know where to find me. So I never worry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions, so I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, no, that's good to know. Me and a couple other people make videos from time to time, and we're constantly getting pulled off of YouTube for something that's like 30 seconds, and we're like, oh, it's fair use, and they're like, it doesn't matter, there's like nobody you can talk to.
Chances are it's because some sort of film company or corporation or something like that found it and said yank it. At least that's what happened with us. I mean, they actually, again, this is back when they actually would respond to, why was this video taken off? They answered, they're very polite, and they responded well because this company, complained that it's copyright infringement and stuff like that. So I don't know if they still do that. My guess would be no, because they're so huge that, they're probably just like, yeah, whatever, but maybe they do, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much automatic now. Like as you upload, like they scan each frame and they have like a database that they compare to. It's gotten pretty bad. But it's good to know that there's other places out there that we can put our videos up.
Well, and I know why they're doing that. I mean, it's so that, the one thing I'm really not for, I don't like when people just, put an entire movie on YouTube, especially a popular movie. It's just like, well, don't do that. That's the reason things are getting yanked off, because people are just like, yeah, people should see this for free. No, people worked very hard on this movie, or whatever it is, and you should, a trailer or something or a review is fine, but if you're just going to post the whole thing on there, they should get some credit. They should get, something for it, or at the very least permission. So I totally understand that. It's when they start pulling it for like the 5-second movies or something that's clearly satirical or a review or something like that. That's where it really suffers.
So another question I would ask you is because this is about nostalgia. I love old movies and TV shows and stuff, but I find a lot of it is really hard to track down. There's two in particular I've been trying to find for years. One is called Queen of Swords, which is like kind of like a Zorro meets Xena thing, and then another one was called Oops, which only had like 6 or 7 episodes. It was like an old Fox show about like the end of the world, and like the Earth gets blown up and there's like 7 people left. So like when you have something you want to review, how do you go about finding it and getting obtaining copies of it?
Sometimes it is tricky. For the most part, you can usually find it on eBay or Amazon, but if not, sometimes you gotta really search Google. You gotta, sometimes go to sort of like, I don't want to say the black market, but just areas where, obviously it doesn't get as much attention. It's like it might be an illegal copy, you don't know, but it's like it's just nowhere else. I mean, nobody else makes it. So you sort of have no choice. Or I hate to say it, but sometimes it's on YouTube. Sometimes you actually can't find what you're looking for. Just the really obscure stuff. If you can't find anywhere else, sometimes you will find the that YouTube video where they will post the whole film or the whole short. So that's the best I can say. But there have been times where I couldn't find something on either eBay or Amazon, and it becomes tricky. It definitely becomes a search to find some of that stuff.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you'd say like, oh, you could just write the television station and they'll send you a copy. I guess not. No, I don't have an in with like the TV producers and movie producers or anything. I think I'll meet with some of them, I'll interview a few, but it's like I don't have like real extreme ins like that. Anyway, I always feel sort of cheating when you do something like that too. I think that's one of the things people do still like about what we do is that, sometimes we'll get like a big time interview or something, but I mean, we still like to keep it on the low and on the cheap because we never want it to feel too big. We never want to feel that connection with the viewer. We never want to remind them, we came from a spot very similar to where you guys are coming from. So we never want to go too overboard with the effects or too overboard, with production values. We always want to get better. But we always still want to have that connection with the people that, hey, we're just people joking, having fun, complaining, like many of the people watching. Yes, and I think that's probably part of the appeal for sure. So I was gonna ask you, sorry, I was just queuing something up here. What would you say, like, if you? I know you already talked about starting off on YouTube and stuff, but if someone was really like trying to get something out there, or I should say more like trying to come up with like an idea of something that's original, because that's one of the things that I know there's like a lot of like angry critics out there now. Yeah. But it seems to me like you were like one of the first guys to say like, hey, this is the thing to do. Like, what would you recommend for somebody who's trying to come up with something that's like original and like unique, I would say?
Well, you sort of nailed it right there, is be original and be unique. In terms of how to get noticed, what worked for me, I can only say what worked for me and what seems to work for other people. It's not a guarantee, but oftentimes, I mean, getting started on YouTube is very good because people are just searching for stuff all the time, and usually the best thing to do is just start off talking about something that people are already looking up. You know, in my case with the 5-second movies, people were already looking up Star Wars or Star Trek, and then they come across Star Wars in 5 seconds. And same thing with Nostalgia Critic. I mean, people were looking up whatever, Batman and Robin or the Super Mario Brothers movie, and they come across my stuff. So if you can somehow incorporate something that people are looking up, or another great example, one of the first reviews I did wasn't even nostalgic. I just knew it was going to be huge. I did a review of the Cloverfield trailer, which now nobody watches. Nobody watches that review, but when it came out, I did it literally like the day after the trailer came out because I knew it was going to be so big. And it got tons of views because I was one of the first people talking about it. I made a funny little video about it. So sometimes the zeitgeist, it can backfire at times, but many times it can also really, really help. So just try to, I mean, don't live around it, but once in a while try to dive into something that you know people are going to look up or people are constantly typing in or always going to have an interest in.
Okay, but no, that's good advice. I think you can even do a search to see what the most popular searches are. There's like a, now you've got a rule about when something becomes nostalgic. What is that rule?
It used to be like 1999. I just sort of deal with what I grew up in. I sort of grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I'd sort of keep it to that. We're extending it a little bit because we just found that like around the year 2000, 2001, like just a boatload of bad movies came out, so we sort of extended it to that stage. I don't know if we're going to go beyond that, with some exceptions. You know, there's some movies that just so many people do, you know, plead that I do, you know, and I'll make exceptions, like I think the Pokemon movie or something like that. And I didn't grow up with Pokemon. I knew what it was, but so I'm like, okay, and the whole movie is me just going, you know, what is this? I don't understand. I can't follow it. I didn't grow up with this, so and people love that. They got a big laugh out of it. So, but yeah, usually, I mean, now we sort of extended to about 2000 or 2001.
You know, I'm actually glad that you brought up the Pokemon thing because that was actually a review of yours I saw a while ago. And while I am older, Pokemon was actually something that I used to work at Starbucks at the time that it was really popular, and I worked the morning shift, so I'd come home around like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and Pokemon would be on, and that would be like what I would watch to like go to sleep, and actually I when I was watching review, I was like, oh, he doesn't get it. Like you have to watch the TV series, and you have to watch the original TV series to really understand Pokemon, because the TV series and the movies are like completely different. Like the original like first season of Pokemon is such like a gargantuan like epic tale of like love and loss, and it's like it's an amazing adventure in the whole like world of Pokemon. Like that's the thing. I'm sorry to steal the thunder here for a second, but I got to tell you, like Pokemon, the whole concept of it is that they live in this world that is like so it's become so complacent and like safe that that at the age of I think it's like 7 or 8 that the parents feel perfectly safe to say, okay, you're 7 now. Here's a Pokemon. Go travel the world. Go see the world. And
you know, it never even dawned on me, why there's a bunch of kids without their parents walking around. I think that's just sort of a common thing in kid shows anyway. It's just like, I just assume they died in a fire or something like most parents do in kids films or in kid shows. So, yeah, I never even questioned that part.
Yeah, it's really an amazing idea, because it's the idea of this, like, I mean, maybe it's like, you know, the New World Order is taken over and like, you know, humanity is perfect, you know, or something. I don't know. But for some reason, like, the world is so absolutely safe, and there's like so few like evil people. Like the most evil people in the world is like Jesse and James, and they just want to like steal kids' Pokemon, and they suck at it. Like that's like the worst thing out there. And so like the parents are like, yeah, go explore the world, and they like send their kids off, and they don't have to worry about them because they know they're going to get to the next town, and there's going to be some parents there who their kids are off on a Pokemon journey, and so they're going to take them in and take care of their kids, and it's just kind of this really amazing kind of idea of like community. It really is really. It's really deep, actually. I know it's just a stupid
Pokemon
kids
is
show.
Deep. I never would have made that assumption.
Yeah, well, seriously, take the time, watch the first, series. It'll take it like a week.
I can't make that promise.
Well, I understand you're a busy man, but if you really do want to truly understand,
even if I wasn't busy, I couldn't make that promise. But still, it's I will say it was definitely. I mean, even from. Like I didn't watch the show, but I got like the basic concept of. I knew it was also like a card game, and you collect these monsters and stuff. And just from a marketing standpoint, I thought it was a genius idea. I'm like, oh man, is that gold? That's a fantastic. That's one of the best marketing kids ideas that came out since Transformers. I mean, it's just like, dude, why couldn't I think of that? I'd be a millionaire if I thought of that.
You got to catch them all of them.
Yeah, no,
you got to catch them all, kids. You just say that over and over again. Yeah, actually, it was originally a video game before it was a cartoon show, a Nintendo RPG game, and
I do remember hearing that. Yeah,
they had different colors, and so you had to actually like the red one only had certain monsters, and the blue one only had certain monsters, and so you had to like trade with friends in order to catch them all. Like it was actually impossible unless you like bought like a ton of stuff. But yeah, no, it was a great idea. We're going to go to a quick break. I'm going to open up the phone lines in case anybody listening in the audience has got some questions. The call-in number is area code 724-444-7444. That's area code 724-444-7444. When it asks you for the call ID number, it's 95724#. And it'll ask you for a PIN number. Just put in what is the guest PIN, which is £1. It's really easy. So if you got any questions for Doug, feel free to call in and let us know. I'll also put in the information into the chat room, so you guys will have that available. We'll be right back with our guest, Doug Walker. Testing. Okay, so the sound has apparently gone off on my speakers, but there's still audio going. So, Doug, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, and I can hear you now, too.
Awesome.
We've got a couple of callers here. If I don't get to you right away, just stay on the line because we have quite the queue building up. So just be patient, and we'll get to all the calls. First one is Katie Marie. You have the mic.
Hi, Doug. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
This is Katie. I met you at UConn twice.
I think I was only there once, but okay, I believe you.
Twice, actually. I'm the girl you hugged both years.
Oh, UConn. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought UMaCon. I apologize. I got that wrong.
UConn.
Yes.
I'm the girl that you hugged both years.
That's right. I remember, yes.
I just got to say, Suburban Nights was one of my absolute favorite things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh.
I got to say, the crotch shot when you were Link, I think I'm scarred for life.
I've scarred many for life with that shot. That was the intention, so I'm glad it came across that way.
That and Jareth, so...
Yes, well, and I gotta say, I had to wear a skirt throughout the majority of that movie, and for the longest time, I just told myself, there must be some reason that women wear those things, because they can't be comfortable. Maybe they're comfortable. I just don't know, and I gotta say, no, there's no reason. Women don't wear those. They don't put yourself through it. It was torture. It's horrible wearing that thing. Everybody saw my junk like every second of the day, and it was just... so it's just you look pretty great, but we're men. We're gonna want you anyway. So yeah, don't put yourself in that because that was tough.
Sometimes we have to, man. Sometimes we have to.
So my heart goes out to you, man, because that wasn't easy.
Oh, and my best friend got me the signed photo for my birthday.
Oh, awesome.
And I also got the 2 That Guy with the Glasses DVDs, other than Kick-Assia, which you know I already had because you signed it. And I also got Lewis's books.
Fantastic. You're going to get the little That Guy with the Glasses museum going there soon.
Yes. And I also met Tommy 2 weeks ago.
What's up?
Yes.
Awesome. Did he say, oh, hi?
Yeah, I was dressed as you, you know.
Oh, I'm sure he thought that you were me. I've seen him do that before. I've seen people dress up like me, and he actually thinks it's me. I love it.
Yeah. And I also wore my Critic T-shirt. And he signed a spoon that I had.
That's awesome. Did you frame it? That'd be in keeping. That's the idea of the spoon.
And I also met a bunch of other fans that high-fived me for wearing an outfit like yours.
That's awesome, man. That is fantastic. It's better than wearing a skirt.
Well, it's not better than wearing the Jareth outfit, but you get what I'm saying.
It's very true. No, that's awesome, man. Thanks for being the devoted fan.
You're welcome. That Guy with the Glasses, the site, and everybody on it, it means an awful lot to me. I mean, at one point I got.
I know what you mean. No, I was gonna say just whenever we hear stuff like that, producers, we talk about all the time, and it's so cool when we hear how much like that it means to people, and that it just that. A lot of times it's like the highlight of their day and stuff. So, I mean, we never get tired hearing that. So, thanks so much for saying that.
And I got a pen, and I drew the little satellite thing on my ankle, and I redraw it, like, every week so it doesn't get, like, rubbed off and stuff, because that's how much it means to me. Like, I want to have it with me all the time.
That's dedication, man. That's dedication.
Well, I do collect movies you've reviewed and such. Like, I have a copy of Batman and Robin.
I've signed many of those.
I know you have. I've seen you do it.
Awesome, very awesome.
Katie, did you have a question for Doug?
Are you ever going to review It Takes Two with the Olsen twins? I mean, I know it's a kind of a chicky movie, but I've always wanted to see you review that.
Yeah, I haven't done anything Olsen twins related. Maybe I should. I haven't done any of their stuff, and that was a big part of nostalgia. I probably should tackle them at some point.
Yeah, and also, one of the fans of the site, my boyfriend, is dedicated enough to try and send J-Dubs to MagFest.
Go for it.
And my friend Greer wanted me to tell you that she loves you.
No, well, I love her even though I've never met her.
All right. Thank you very much, Katie. You have a good night.
All right,
good talking
you
to you
too.
again.
Bye. Bye.
All right, we've got South Central, I think it's Ontario. Are you there?
Oh.
Hello? Did you have a question for Doug?
I don't think you have anybody there.
Hello?
No, I don't think.
Oh,
there we go.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Doug?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I don't know if you remember, but I met you at Con Bravo recently. I was the only female nostalgia critic there. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I think I do remember, yes.
Yeah, my friend, he was touching your face when we met you in the opening ceremony, and you were orgasming over it.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? What a wonderful story to take out of context. Yes, okay, continue.
I know, right? And I don't know if you remember this either, but when you were doing the Chester A. Bomb and Dr. Insano video, and you had us singing "O Canada," and then you guys went to go through the crowd to go somewhere else. Do you remember talking to me and saying, Oh my God, the Nostalgia Critic, you had a sex change. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do still remember that.
I was wondering if Angry Joe, took a video of that or he just cut the feed there. Because, I was just really, really wondering why you didn't include that in the video, or maybe it just wasn't funny enough or something.
Yeah, I don't remember. I will say that a lot of stuff it does get cut from those videos, A, for time, or B, just because it either doesn't work with the flow or it's a joke I've done before. I do find often sometimes I repeat a joke, and when I look back, I'm like, oh, I did that in this video. I shouldn't do that. And blah blah blah. So honestly, I don't remember. I do recall having to cut quite a few things from that video. Just for time and stuff like that, so it is possible. But I do remember you. No, I definitely remember.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I definitely remember you there. So no, it was a lot of fun. I remember the touching of the face too. I remember all that stuff. So for someone who has as bad a memory as I do, that's a good thing for me to remember.
One more thing before we go, I didn't get a chance to tell you this at the con, but I'm just a really big fan of yours. Even just as a comedian in general. I really wish I could be more like you one day. I mean, you always look like you're having so much fun in your productions and just making them and everything. And just coming off as a shy person for most of my life, I really, really do want to find more of the humor in life and just, make all kinds of friends and have fun and stuff like that. And you're just amazing.
Oh, that means so much. Thanks so much. And there's definitely a lot of people I know who are usually very shy but can get in front of the camera and just do all sorts of great things and just find something to do all that. So, definitely don't be afraid of that. So that's really awesome, man. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you, Doug.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you for calling in. I had somebody who was called in, but they flipped out, and they've got looks like a question in the comments here in the chat room. It just says "They Live?" ? I'm guessing are you going to review They Live, or what do you think about it? I'm not exactly.
I gotta remember which. I recognize the title. I don't exactly remember.
It's
which one that is.
John Carpenter, and it stars Roddy Piper.
I don't. I'd have to watch.
You should check it out. He's got special glasses that lets him see aliens.
This is where you can see the aliens with the glasses, right? Yeah, I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen part of it. I do remember it being a lot of fun. That might be one to look at because I do get a few requests for that. So yeah, that might be one to take a look at.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it's got a wrestler in it, so.
Oh, I'm there.
Plenty of material. He says, LOL, yes, I would totally watch that. So I've been watching your videos, and I noticed that you do have in a couple of your videos you have a little hidden political theme. Of course, there's Zod for president, of course, and I also just watched your the Princess Peach video where you talk about it being this hidden superpower. Are you just poking fun, or do you actually have any kind of political thoughts? We do talk about politics a lot on this show, so if you have anything that you might want to mention about that, it's a golden opportunity.
Basically, I hate politics. But I know they need to exist. I'm not nuke them all or anything like that. I mean, it's I know it has to be this way. I don't totally get me personally, I'm not left or right, and I don't like the idea of people having to choose whether they're left or right. And I don't like that because then they have to stick to that side, and if you don't, you're betraying the cause, or if you think this, you're not this side, or you're betraying that side, and I don't like that. I like it when, people can, think one thing and not necessarily agree with another, and talk about it and question it and explain why. And I think when you divide it up into these sections, I believe this, therefore I'm that, and I belong in this group, in this category, I'm not a fan of that. There's certainly things about the left I enjoy. There's certainly things about the right I enjoy, and that's sort of my take on it. I definitely don't pick either side. Therefore, I think it's perfect to be a comedian because you can make fun of both then.
Definitely, and without choosing sides, because I mean I'm a libertarian, so I don't really like either side. Like there are some things I like about both, but one of the reasons why I had you on the show is because we're constantly trying to explore better ways to get away from all of the politicking and kind of just doing things for yourself. And like I saw you as kind of somebody who's certainly doing it for himself. And I was just thinking, is there anything that you would recommend to people who want to do it for themselves, like just to kind of to on their own without having to worry about left and right and all these other things?
In terms of getting into like what I do, I mean, it's like I said, I told the story. A lot of it did sort of depend on luck, and it was just being in the right place, right time. But in terms of, I think now having been, sort of I'm not a huge celebrity, but I mean, I'm big enough, that I can have a crowd follow me and stuff. Something I really realize about politicians, I think we have to realize about politicians and celebrities in general, is that the reason that there is so much, lying and there is so much cover-up and there is so much conspiracy is it's not because of them. It's very much because of us. And what I mean by that is that when we hear something that a politician or a celebrity or a role model does something that's, out of character or human, because we're all human, we're going to make mistakes, we seem to really chastise them much harder than someone we may know personally. Or sometimes we even do it with people we know personally. And when we obviously don't know the whole story, we don't know all the details, we don't even really know these people, we try to act like we do, but we really don't. And when we try to jump to a conclusion that, well, this person did this, so I don't trust them now. This person is bad, and anything they say I don't trust, is not wise, because that's how you get the lies. That's how you get the people, the politicians trying to manipulate and change things and stuff like that. They're doing it because they know we will jump to conclusions and we will immediately chastise them for it and not vote for them. So I think that's something very important. If we're looking to make some sort of change, I think that's a very good place to start. And I think, again, that is why I'm not a fan of joining either side or just a side of anything, is because immediately you want to defend it and you want to attack whatever isn't your side. So I say, just try your best to always listen more and not jump to conclusions and not act like you know something that you really don't know. You can make assumptions, but you always have to keep clear that it's an assumption. We need assumptions, we need them to survive, but, there's no magical potion that politicians take and then just suddenly they're politicians and they're liars and they're manipulators. No, they do it to appease us. And if we could be more relaxed, open, and listen more and not ready to say, jump down their throats and say, well, what's wrong, as opposed to, what's being done right, I think it'll show in our politicians as well. Wow, I made a big speech there. I apologize.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. You got my vote. All right, Doug. Well, is there anything else that you would like to tell us about or promote or and tell the world here? We've got quite the large audience that is brewed up here tonight. It's your floor right now. If you got anything you want to say, it's a great time.
I'd like to declare my candidacy for president of the... No, I'm not doing that. I think like half of my characters have done that already anyway. Just, the only thing I can think to promote, of course, the website, just check out theglasses.com. And, Suburban Nights, hopefully, like I said, where the stuff's sent out, we're just trying to, we're going to look at the final versions of the DVD, so hopefully that should be out relatively shortly. And, yeah, just keep watching our stuff. We'll always try to keep putting out new stuff.
Well, and I'll certainly keep watching. I'm sure everybody else will. It sounds like you've got some real devoted fans out here, Doug. Thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. All right, everybody. That was Doug Walker. He's a man who's doing it for himself, and boy, what a speech he gave there at the end. That was really beautiful. And it is a good point. Sometimes we're too hard on the people around us, and we have to remember that we are all just human, and that we're all kind of sharing the same rock here. Hold on, we got somebody else here. Kevin, did you have a question for Doug? He's still on the line, or were you trying to call in?
Yeah, if Doug's actually still on the line, I wanted to just mention real quick that I found.
Hold on a second. Hey, Doug, are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is Kevin. He's got a question for you. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I just wanted to add it in real quick first. That first off, that Sesame Street song that you played earlier links right to your classic Nostalgia Critic as well. Like one of the episodes for Follow That Bird is right there.
Yeah,
It's
where I couldn't do the I remember I couldn't do it, so I had to have the bum do it for me.
It worked really well, like whatever you did for your tagging for it. But I wanted to also really thank you for taking any idea of watching They Live. I think it's a really amazing idea, and if you're into politics, or you're not into politics currently, I think you may be really surprised at what you see in this film in your review of it. And to be honest with you, to get a comedic take off of this would really be a lot of fun. So I would almost love to, as a listener, challenge you to do that, and thank you.
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
Garbage Warrior would be another great one as well, if you have an opportunity.
Well, Garbage Warrior is more of a documentary, though, isn't it?
Oh, he doesn't do documentaries. I wasn't sure.
No, he does. He does classic. He does like classic nostalgia movies.
That documentaries might be harder because it'd just be like, oh, heck with that person who really exists. Oh, look at the crybaby. I feel like a dick the whole time.
Yeah, but no, definitely. And I just thought of this too. Since you brought it back up again, They Live. It's a movie about a guy with glasses. So I mean,
there you go. We're suddenly empowered.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks again, Doug. Thank you, Kevin, for calling in. Have a good night, Doug.
Absolutely. Well,
again.
let me make one more big speech here. No, I'm kidding. It's like, I should have just gone out on the big speech, but no, well, what can you do?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, man.
Absolutely. Take care, man.
Have a good night. All right, and so there we go. And so that was Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, thatguywithglasses.com. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to talk about some other stuff that's going on in the news. If anybody wants to call in and talk about anything, it's going to be open phone lines. When we come back, the floor is yours as well as it is mine. So we'll be right back in just a moment. And you're listening to I Libertarian. Thanks for listening.